Han Lee, a 19-year-old Japanese boy, lived and breathed modified cars and drifting. Growing up in Tokyo, he was surrounded by the city's vibrant car culture, and his passion only grew stronger with each passing day. By day, he worked at his family's car shop, tuning and modifying cars for extra power and style. By night, he transformed into a drifting legend, tearing up the streets of Tokyo in his trusty Nissan S13, nicknamed Midnight. Han's love affair with cars began when he was just a kid, watching drift races on TV and dreaming of the day he could get behind the wheel. He spent every spare moment studying car mechanics, learning how to tweak engines, suspension, and tires for maximum performance. His friends would often joke that he knew more about cars than his own name. As Han honed his skills, he began to make a name for himself in Tokyo's underground drifting scene. His crew, the Midnight Drifters, consisted of his childhood friends, Kenji, a skilled mechanic, and Imiko, a talented graphic designer who created the crew's logo and merchandise. Together, they explored the city's hidden roads, searching for the perfect spot to drift. One fateful night, Han received a mysterious message from a rival crew, the Shadow Racers, challenging him to a high-stakes drift battle on the iconic C1 Loop, a treacherous mountain pass on the outskirts of Tokyo. The winner would take home a cash prize of 1 million yen and the title of Tokyo's Drift King. Han knew this was an opportunity he couldn't miss. With his heart racing, Han accepted the challenge. He spent the next few days fine-tuning Midnight, adding a new exhaust system, adjusting the suspension for maximum grip, and upgrading the engine for extra power. Kenji and Imiko helped him every step of the way, making sure Midnight was in top condition. As the night of the battle approached, Han's nerves began to get the better of him. He knew the Shadow Racers were a ruthless crew, and their leader, Ryota, was a skilled driver with a reputation for dirty tricks. Han's crew reassured him, reminding him of his skills and the countless hours they'd spent perfecting their craft. The night of the battle arrived, and Han's crew gathered at the C1 Loop. The Shadow Racers were already there, their cars gleaming in the darkness. Han took a deep breath, put on his helmet, and strapped himself in. Imiko gave him a good luck charm, a small figurine of a samurai, which he attached to his rearview mirror. The race began, and Han's skills were put to the ultimate test. He drifted through hairpin turns, his tires screeching in protest. The Shadow Racers were hot on his heels, but Han refused to back down. He executed a series of flawless drifts, his car dancing around the corners with precision and grace. As the race neared its end, Han found himself side by side with Ryota, the leader of the Shadow Racers. The two drivers were neck and neck, their cars inches apart. In a heart-stopping finale, Han executed a daring 360-degree drift, crossing the finish line first. The crowd erupted in cheers, and the Midnight Drifters celebrated their victory. Word of Han's skills spread like wildfire, and he became a legend in Tokyo's underground drifting scene. His name was whispered in awe by car enthusiasts, and his car, Midnight, became a symbol of speed and style. The Shadow Racers conceded defeat, and Ryota approached Han with a nod of respect. "You're the real deal, Han," Ryota said. "We underestimated you. You're the true drift king of Tokyo." Han's story inspired countless young drivers to pursue their passion for cars and drifting. He continued to dominate the drifting scene, always pushing himself to new heights. His legacy continued to thrill and inspire generations to come, cementing his place as one of the greatest drifters in Tokyo's history. The Midnight Drifters expanded their crew, welcoming new members and forming alliances with other crews. Han's reputation attracted sponsors, and he began competing in professional drifting tournaments. He never forgot his humble beginnings, always staying true to his roots and his crew. Years later, Han's name became synonymous with drifting excellence. He opened his own garage, where he built and modified cars for enthusiasts. His crew remained close, and they'd often gather for nostalgic drifting sessions, reliving the thrill of their early days. Han's story served as a reminder that with dedication, passion, and a bit of reckless abandon, anything is possible. The streets of Tokyo would always remember the name Han Lee, the Drift King, and the legend of Midnight, the car that started it all. As Han looked back on his journey, he knew that his love for cars and drifting had brought him more than just fame and